I've made this pledge to our armed forces. I will only send you into harm's way when it is absolutely necessary. And when I do, it will be based on good intelligence and guided by a sound strategy. I will give you a clear mission, defined goals, and the equipment and support you need to get the job done.
Do you believe a word of this? He'll only send them into harm's way when it's necessary. Well, why are we in Afghanistan? No one can answer the question. I made a prediction on Friday that there will be anti-war protesters arising in America. They will not come from the left because the left were not anti-war. They were anti-Republican. They wanted to put the radical extremists into power, and they have them now, so they're no longer available because they're working for him. There will be anti-war protests in this country. It will come from the conservatives. It will come primarily from the military. It already came today through questions from people at the VFW themselves, asking this man, this college professor, this extremist, this radical anti-military man, why we are in Afghanistan, and he didn't answer them. Why? You're sending him into harm's way? Why? What is the threat to America from Afghanis, or the Taliban for that matter? Tell me why we're there. If you're going to hear the same arguments that we got to fight them there to keep them from coming here, then it's Bush too. That's all. The same rubbish you're going to hear from the military-industrial complex? The military-industrial complex owns the world, my friends. They keep developing weapons, which I was all for. Well, great. Use them, damn it. They don't use them. What do we have? Tanks that can shoot around corners if we don't use them. What's the good of a submarine that can go under the Arctic Circle and break through the ice if we don't use them? Tell me what the good of a B-1 bomber is if we don't use it. Kim Jong-il thumbs his nose at us, launches rockets into the sea. Iran thumbs their nose at us. We do nothing. What are all the weapons for? Answer. Shall I answer it for you? You want the answer? Now you know why I'm banned in Britain. You know the answer. Military-industrial complex. Eisenhower said it first. I modified it to say, I said, beware the government media complex. It's even worse. It's even more dangerous. Contractors, my friends. Contractors, money. Trillions of dollars, my friends. It would all be wonderful if we actually used some of the equipment, but we don't. What are we using it for? What's it for? They could have blasted that guy's launch pads into infinity in the Bush administration. It would have been over. You think he would have invaded the South? Nonsense. He wouldn't have done anything. They could have smashed the Iranian nuclear development program 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, 2 months ago. Instead, Ahmadinejad continues to laugh at us and develops the centrifuges. So what's the good of a military-industrial complex that doesn't work? It's as crippled as Congress itself. That's why Obama's popularity is falling down. It's because people are starting to see that he's just a front man for the very same powers that put Bush in power. That's what I think. What do you think? Monterey Kelly, you're up on the Savage Nation. Go ahead, please.
Thanks, Michael. I'm a new listener, Marine mom, and recovering Republican. And I wanted to say thank you very much for everything you're doing. I'm looking forward to reading your new book. I tell all my friends about you. I tell them to go on your website and read all your bumper stickers that absolutely crack me up. I wish I had them all on my car.
Thank you.
Well,
I wish I could send you a copy of Banned in Britain Now, Kelly, but it's not yet gone to the printer. But I certainly hope that you'll take the trouble to read the table of contents and the other material, the excerpt from Chapter 1, Savage Fights Back. It's in there. It goes past this one man. It goes to the whole issue of freedom of speech, which liberals claim they're in favor of freedom of speech. I love turning on HBO at night at Showtime. It says, the freedom of speech show. A dirty, foul-mouthed group of vermin like I've never seen. That's freedom of speech to them. One F word after another. That's their idea of freedom of speech. One dirty, filthy dirt mouth from the gutter after another. That's HBO's idea. The freedom of speech comedy show. You ever see that garbage? It's disgusting. You want to know what freedom of speech is? This is freedom of speech. It's freedom of political speech. It's not meant to give you the right to sell pornography around a junior high school. That's how the liberals destroyed America. Larry Flint hired some silver-tongued vermin who could pull gold out of a rainbow, and he spun the lie that it would be up to community standards. Now you have pornography in hotel rooms where there used to be a Gideon Bible. Even in the chain owned by the Mormons. What's the name of that chain? The beautiful hotels. What do they own? I forgot already the name of it. The big chain. Gorgeous hotels. There's no Bibles in there now. Now there's porno you can rent. Porno that they don't even put it on your bill. Doesn't even say porno, so your wife doesn't know when you're on the road that you disgraced yourself like that. You didn't mean to do it. Instead of reaching for a Bible in the middle of the night, you reach for a little bottle of whiskey at a porno show. That's America today. Every hotel room. Big cash cow. Big cash cow. There's nobody innocent. Nobody's innocent. It's a nation of corruption and pollution from top to bottom.
Savage. Michael Savage. Afternoons 3 to 7 on Talk 910 KNEW and online at 910KNEW.com.
Coming up next, from San Fran Freak Show, The Savage Nation, from Talk 910 KNEW.
On the air, online, and on the go, this is Talk 910 KNEW.
Warning. The Michael Savage Show contains adult language, adult content, psychological nudity. Listener discretion is advised.
Now, America's most exciting radio talk show, The Savage Nation. Here is Michael Savage.
Listening to a songbird of the hippie left, Joan Baez, who led, in my opinion, hundreds of thousands of people astray. And that's because the left is inordinately gifted with so many artists who have misled so many Americans, resulting now in the most radical administration in the history of the United States of America, an administration threatening not only to move the country to the left, but to move the country to a place it was never intended to go. President Obama is not a liberal. President Obama is a radical. Make no mistake about it. There's a big difference between a liberal and a radical. There's a big difference between a liberal and a progressive. Progressive is a front word for communist, socialist, anarchist, internationalist, New World Order. They are not liberals. A liberal is tolerant. Progressives are intolerant. I can go down the list. I don't really want to do it right now. I've asked you before on Friday, where are the war protesters? The military is doubling in Afghanistan. Obama's sending more and more men over there. We don't understand why we're there. We have no idea what they're going over there for. We have no idea why they're dying. And yet all of the louts who drove around with no war for oil, they're disappeared. You don't see one no war bumper sticker in Marin County, California anymore. Why? There's still a war, isn't there? Yes, but it's now a Democrat war. It's now Obama's war. Therefore, it's a good war. We're also talking about the fact that I'm celebrating the launching of Banned in Britain, my new book. And it's up only on michaelsavage.com. It's banned on Publishers Row in New York. They would not touch the book. Now, remember, I'm a man who's written 4 New York Times bestsellers. Think about that. They should be clamoring for my book. They wouldn't touch it. Not one New York publisher wanted the book. I don't care. They are the silent movies in an age of talkies. Talkies being talk radio, talkies being the internet, talkies being Facebook, talkies being Twitter. I have a Facebook account that's going up on michaelsavage.com this week as well, Twitter account, and I am able to reach you without them. Thank you very much. They're dodo birds. They're extinct. Now, the New Yorker article came out 2 weeks ago. I just got an email from a reader who said, I just read it. I loved reading it. Savage, it was almost like you were portrayed as one of the first true reality show personalities. A host and contestant at the same time. Your show is not really about politics. It's about the sandwich you ate last night and your dog, and the news, and why she wore that belt with that coat. It's about your having to see a dentist and your thoughts on death and dying. You were described as a person who simply did a 3-hour reality show featuring yourself. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, that is the opinion of one of my readers. The New Yorker article has permitted liberals to understand that the things they've heard about me were all lies. Lies put out by the liberal left. And just as the British government has attempted to destroy me with a smear campaign, I want you to understand what this means. An entire nation, that is an entire government, the liberal or Labour government in Britain, set about to smear me. You don't have to agree with my politics to understand what I'm saying to you. All you have to do is read Melville's Billy Budd to understand that I'm Billy Budd. Only I'm not going to that yard-on without a fight. They're not hanging me from the yard-on. I'm not going to let it. I'm fighting with everything in me.